Hey everybody, it's me, it's Thor. Welcome back. I really hope you're having a fantastic day so far. If you're brand new, it's nice to meet you. My name's Thor. I'd like to talk today a bit about chops and maintenance. And I'm talking like physical maintenance of our chops. It's important, especially if we're playing different instruments in different styles. And it's something that is easily put to the back burner and kind of forgotten about. But real quick plug, my apologies. I've put together a collection, an album of sorts, of some of the intro pieces from these videos called Alone in October, and it's available over on my Bandcamp page. And it's a great way to support the channel, and I appreciate those who've already gotten a copy of it. I also have some transcriptions of some of those solo pieces available on my website. Thank you to everyone who's picked some of those up. And I also have a member section where I do some lessons type videos, and there'll be some new stuff coming on that soon too. Just got to think of what to do. But all of these things really, really help me out and help me keep this all going. So I really, really appreciate it. And thank you again, everyone who's already done so. So chops. What do I mean by chops, and what do I mean by maintenance? So, real quick, this guitar. Yesterday, I got a comment on my most recent video where someone, Randy, nice to see you, Randy, mentioned this great clip of Django Reinhardt. In fact, it's the only video footage of Django Reinhardt, at least that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I think it's the only one. And he's playing this beautiful song called Je t'aimerai that is just, as it is a beautiful song, but to hear him play these delicate motifs and really make this thing sound like an orchestra, it's phenomenal. So it got me juiced up to take out this guitar and give it a play. And I was very quickly reminded how hard this instrument is to play. Not hard, but different. It's a whole different beast to these easy playing electric guitars I have behind me. And I don't use light strings on my electrics. I use 11s on basically across the board. I use 12s on my Guild. And this only has 11s on it. But it's a completely different thing. It involves a different positioning with your body. The picking technique is different. It's just so different, and my hand got very upset with me very quickly. And I did a lot of practicing yesterday too. Like, I was warmed up. But this thing took no prisoners, and it really reminded me that it doesn't like to be left alone. So, like, so if I were to get a gig right now, let's say someone called me right now and said, hey, tonight, there's a gig. This guitar, Django stuff. I would say yes, because I have a yes problem. But, oh man, I would be so beaten up by the end of that gig, because I'm not maintaining the chops required to play this instrument. And it's necessary. It's just, there's a certain amount of muscle memory that's already there. But just because your muscles remember how to do it doesn't mean they're conditioned to do it. It's just like working out. It's just like anything else physically that we do. I'm not a skier, right? I've never been a skier, but I imagine your first ski session, is that what you call it? Pardon me. Of the year, you're probably a bit rusty, and you're probably very sore by the end of that day, because you go months without doing it. So the longer amount of time you spend away from an instrument that's different from the instrument you're used to playing, the more time it'll take to get accustomed to that instrument. So in my case, because I have a love for this music, I need to devote a little bit of time in my day-to-day practice routine to just pick this up, even just for a few minutes, just to remember what it's like to play this guitar. And even if that's just playing some chords, playing the old La Pompe. doing that every day would be unbelievably beneficial to maintaining my relationship with this. I often, I have a group that's just acoustic music, and all I play is, I've got this beautiful Loudon right over here. And so when I've got a very busy season with that guitar, this happened when I was living in Nashville specifically. It happened to me a couple of times. I'd come over here to the UK and do a tour, be here for a month. I'd go back to Nashville, and then the day after getting back, I'd play a Telecaster gig. And it would just feel like I even looked up, I thought something was wrong with me one time, just because my muscles were I couldn't do it. It was the amount of pain that I started causing myself, because it's a whole different thing, to go from playing big heavy strings on an acoustic instrument and playing like pretty delicate music, really, and then going to a Telecaster where all of a sudden I'm playing this fiery stuff and bending stuff and doing that whole thing. I was too out of shape. So, unfortunately I don't have the lifestyle or budget to bring along a Telecaster on an acoustic tour, but, it's just something to think about. It's something to be aware of, for sure. So I made a video a bunch of months ago about how important it is to play as many of your instruments as you can every day. And shame on me, I've fallen out of that. And I need to start mixing it up a little bit more again. I've definitely been playing a lot of Telecaster and my Guild, but they're not that dissimilar as far as feel and the way in which I'm playing them. And the Guild also isn't too dissimilar from this. But, I've got some stuff coming up where I need to play acoustic guitar, and I'd be a fool if I didn't start practicing that every day right now. Starting today. In fact, starting today, I'm going to. So, I suppose it's just something to think about, This is a physical thing we're doing. So even little micro movements and small changes in how we're playing something can greatly impact our bodies. So I think we should all pay attention a little bit. Or rather, I need to pay attention more. Again, I'm never going to tell you what to do. Ever. That's my promise to you. But I need to do that a bit more. Has anyone run into this problem before? Have you gotten out of shape on an instrument that required a different physicality? I'd love to hear about it. I'll tell you a little bit about this guitar. This guitar was, I've had this since 2017. It was built by a fellow named Jerome Duffel. He's a phenomenal luthier. At the time, he was based in Sweden. He's here in the UK now. And I had a great instrument before this that was made by Rodrigo Chopis. And I had it, I think I was the second or third owner of that instrument. And I just needed something that had a little bit more bark to it and a little bit more volume, honestly. And I had met Jerome in 2016 in France, and I just really got on with him. He was a great guy, and his guitars were amazing. So when it was time for a change of instrument, he was call number one. And it has this unbelievably tight spruce top. The grain is so tight, it's called moon spruce. You should look it up. Macassar ebony back and sides, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard with Evo gold frets, so those never wear down. See that right there? That happened. It's hard to tell with this camera angle, but there it is. Look how deep that is. So this did have a plastic pickguard on it, but I was using a stick-on magnetic pickup that just clips onto the sound hole quite a bit, and it was causing the pickup to start to peel. So I just took the pickguard off. And this was it was the color has started to go here. There started to be a color from my picks, and I was at a gig, and my friend Simba Bumgardner, who is a phenomenal player, and he's related to Django Reinhardt, and he was in town, and he sat in. You know, I gave him my guitar, and he played for an entire set. And by the time I got it back from Simba, that wood is worn away. I don't mind it at all. I think it looks really cool, and you know, this top isn't that thin, so it's no hole is gonna get caught. No, it's not gonna turn into a hole. Let's put it that way. But this guitar is just incredible, and I love it to bits and pieces. And I need to pay some more attention to it, both for the sake of what good is a guitar if it's not played. If it's not being played, then it's not doing what it was built to do. And I just want to hear it more because it sounds so lovely. And it is a beast. It is so loud. Like right now, the vocal mic that I'm using for this, for my speech, I have to turn away from it or else it'll just clip. Like even this, that's clipping. I'm barely playing that. It's an absolute beast, and I love it. And it will forever be with me. The last gypsy guitar I ever need. And I've probably played what feels like 10 million gigs with it. It once upon a time had a pickup inside. I took that out though. And so it's just an acoustic wonder. And I love it. So that's it for today, everybody. Hope you have a great day. And I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.